Hey guys, you're watching or listening to the Shift Training Podcast,
where we talk about personal development. We talk about physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health, and just overall well-being.
And today we're going to be talking about fixed mindset versus growth mindset. And we're just going to have a little back and forth discussion, playing a little devil's advocate for both sides. So Vaughn, where should we start? Should we start with some common fixed mindset thoughts and limiting beliefs?
Sure. I guess I'll play the devil's advocate for fixed mindset.
Oh, shoot. Let's go. Let's consider that.
All right.
What's a common fixed mindset thought you think people have?
I think the traits that they have is...
Let's just pick one thought. What's one common thought?
It's not learnable.
Oh, like I can't learn this.
I can't learn this.
I can't do it.
People are talented and I'm not. Those are the common ones.
All right, let's hit some of those right there. So yeah. There are people who are talented, right? Mm-hmm. They're talented. I can't learn it. I just wasn't born like that.
Yeah. Those are
some of those
words, yeah.
Some of those. All right, Vaughn. So maybe you should do the growth mindset for this one, and I'll do the fixed mindset.
Okay, and then maybe we can change in the middle.
Let's do that.
Let's see.
Let's do that. Let's play with that. So we'll start with the I wasn't born like that, or that person is just talented. There's something different about them. What would be a growth mindset way to reframe that, or a thought about that? Like, I can't learn that, or I wasn't born that way. They're just talented.
Right. I think if we think about it, all those successful people like Michael Jordan, famous philosopher, whoever had done the work, and we can see them the highlight. I think what we don't see is the hard work that they put in. Even Michael Jordan, who quote unquote was talented, people don't see the story behind the curtains. If you see the TV series on Netflix, I forgot what was the title, but if you watch his series,
is it The Last Dance?
Yeah, it's that one.
Okay.
He had this work ethic. He worked hard. People don't see that. Even Kobe as well. They would wake up 5 a.m. and they're very deliberate with their actions. So the point here is that I don't think talent, you can think of talent as, people by default, they might get it, but that's only in the beginning. I think what we all have in common is our ability to adapt.
Yeah, adaptability is the hallmark of, humanity. Mm-hmm. Our adaptability as humans is part of what makes us, quote unquote, awesome or unique. It's one of the special things about being a human is that we have the ability to adapt. Mm-hmm. And adaptability, that's what growth mindset is all about. Mm-hmm. Fixed mindset is, I think, rooted in hopelessness. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's very toxic. If you have that fixed mindset, if you believe that this person or this group of people is talented, then you're never going to improve because you already have that belief in yourself, and then you're never going to try. It's very toxic.
That's true. You limit yourself, you trap yourself. Yeah. Okay. So, wasn't born that way. I'm just not talented like that. I think of talent as whatever, maybe a little bit of, I don't know, maybe some natural affinity plus life circumstance plus time clocked developing said skill, whether intentionally or unintentionally.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think, but there are some people that are actually just good at something, but
nah. I think yes and no. One of the things that I think we talked about this before is it's too hard to tell when a person starts developing certain skills, like when they're young, because we don't see their whole bio or their story.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll use myself as an example. Oh, actually, I'm not going to use myself. Have any of you guys ever heard of, like, from a grandparent or somebody who's seen you, like, your whole life, say, you've always kind of been that way, or you're always kind of good at that, or whatever kind of deal, right? It's not like you came out the womb like that. I don't think so.
But what about those, like, I've seen some like videos or in the news where this person is extremely talented or genius when it comes to numbers since they were born. What do you think of that?
Oh, this is my favorite. I think it's possible to have a natural inclination or affinity or appreciation towards something. But again, when we're young, the environment we're in creates, I mean, it literally dictates the form. It's the mold and you're the clay. When you first come out, whatever is in your environment is already, your body is already adapting. Everything about you is already trying to adapt to survive and thrive and do well in whatever environment you're in, even when you're just a little kid. Even when you're a tiny little toddler, little baby running around. I do believe that there are some things regarding temperament and all of that stuff connects to our biology, sure. But I think anything that you can improve upon via learning, you probably started your learning sooner. Or there are probably some other things you learned that played a role in that. Like people who are really good at threat assessment, I think a lot of the people who are really good at threat assessment very early on in their life experience somewhere a need to threat assess, to feel safe, or some type of trauma that led them to go, all right, now I have to assess everything. We just don't know.
I see.
It's too hard to recall.
It's kind of like a survival thing that they, and I think that's very important to know as well, where you need to have that affinity on certain activities. If you don't, then you'll never really gonna find some things to learn that specific thing. Right. For instance, for me, when I was in college, I believe the part that I hate the most, and I even I try my best to learn it, and this was history. For me, I have this, I always just wanted to avoid it, but I had to pass in order to move on. But that's true. I think that's a good point. If you don't have that affinity towards that specific subject, no matter how hard you try, there's always going to have this resistance. So it's hard to get better.
Yeah, it'll be difficult, but it's still possible. And that's the difference between fixed mindset and growth mindset in that moment is there room for improvement? Is that possible? Well, the answer is yes.
I've also, this reminds me of these two sisters who played tennis. They all started at the same time. One sister just practiced, I think that I'm reading a book right now. It's called Peak. There's two types of practices. One is naive practice, where you just think if you just show up, put in the time, the 10,000 hours without any purposeful or deliberate practice, you believe that you're going to get good, but that isn't necessarily true. You need to be purposeful. You need to be deliberate. And that means you need to have clear goals. You need to be focused. And this is what's interesting about that part or that subject, where the book says sometimes if you are having fun on a specific activity, so we're talking about if you want extraordinary result, there will be many times that you will not have fun. People that are in the peak, the best of the best, they said that this thing that they're doing is not fun. It's arduous. It's hard. I think it's because of the focus that they had to put in that it becomes a mystery for them. Like Kobe Bryant had to wake up, as I mentioned, like 5 a.m. All they think about is basketball. They study the game. They watch films. Yeah. So you need to be focused.
I'd like to point out that just because it's not fun doesn't mean it's not meaningful. And I think if it's meaningful, your brain will still do the job.
But they always seek for that, result. I think that's where the meaning and the purpose, and that's where they feel the fun.
Yeah, for them, it was the meaning and the purpose. Right.
Yeah.
I think in that is a little bit of fixed mindset, actually.
Oh, can you elaborate?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the chase of the fruit without love for the process is still a fixed mindset. Because you think that that is the thing that will give you what you seek, and it is the only thing.
Okay.
So it becomes your sole purpose, your sole focus. To me, that's the equivalent of saying, I can't be happy unless I'm that person. I can't be happy or enjoy my life unless I do X. Now, that's not the case for all of these athletes. I'm just saying sometimes when we go, I'm doing this, it sucks, but I just want this thing right here. Just this thing would make me happy. That's the same as saying, if I had their body, of course I'd be confident. Oh, that's fixed mindset. That's not growth mindset, missing the point, missing the process, not enjoying the journey of how you're moving through life, of the actual growth, the experience.
You still need that balance on that. Okay.
Yeah. And I think that's also a positive and a negative, right? So sometimes it's good to have a fixed mindset in a particular area to be fixed upon whatever it is you need to be fixed upon in that moment. But understanding that, let's say, to have a fixed mindset over your whole life, every area of your life, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, true. And I think in order to get past that fixed mindset, you need to get out of your comfort zone. It doesn't have to be like a big action that you need to do. I think little steps will help you get to that growth mindset.
Yeah, small steps.
Yeah, because for me, there's some areas of my life I still have that fixed mindset, but in the back of my head, everything is learnable, but it's hard for me to believe that in my body. Yeah,
takes lots of practice for sure. Same. And growth mindset is just like too much water. You just keep drinking water endlessly. You jump down in the water, you don't come back up for air. That can be harmful to your health as well. So there's a dance to learn between fixed mindset and growth mindset. However, I will say we do mostly advocate for like more growth mindset than not if you're looking to.
What do you think are the benefits for having a fixed mindset?
Like I said, I think with the example you provided with certain athletes or anybody that's goal driven, I think having the ability to laser focus in or almost tunnel vision on something can be useful or helpful, but not so much that you forget to take care of whatever other stuff you have to. So for example, let's just pretend, here's an easy one. You're always at work all the time and you forget about your significant other or the people in your life that support you and love you.
Right. But those people who are like, we're talking about elite athletes, right?
Sure.
But
I say any high performer.
Right.
Anybody that wants to get after it.
They always have something to sacrifice, to give in, and that could be their family if they want to be, the best of the best.
That's true. And that's why I would say that's a dangerous part of it. Because at the end of the day, the thing that you're chasing, this is why I say it's dangerous. More often than not, the thing that we're chasing is not going to give us the exact outcome that we want over a long period of time. I would not sacrifice, and I've heard this from lots of people who are what I define as successful, which is more than just lots of money or being wealthy, right? Some people, you say financially successful, I would say that's wealthy, right? There's various ways to be successful. My definition is prosperity, wholeness. You have excelled and grown in many areas. Your relationships are on point. Finances are on point. You serve the world on point. You're good with yourself more often than not on point. That's success to me. So from those people who have money, who've also clearly said money ain't the thing.
Right.
It's not going to do it for you. So whatever goal or achievement you're chasing, for example, this is going to be a silly case, but let's say you're chasing something because of a parent and you want their approval. And you might even be thinking about that. You're like, yeah, if I do this, this means I'm this means I'm that, I've done this, I'm the person, I will have done this, I will have hit new levels, I will set new records, I am the one. But you're already the one. You're the one in your own story. You're the center of your own universe, of your own life, right? Then you have other people who want to participate in this. You cut them out, what? To be more connected with yourself. And this is where I go. There are times where you do need to do that, but at the same time, how you do it, I feel like sacrificing those who want to invest in your well-being, I don't think that's the way to do it. Personally, I just don't think that's the way to do it. If that's what you need and that's what your value system says, like, you need to be able to do these things just to look at yourself in the mirror. I personally don't think you even have the capacity to be able to function with other people yet. So maybe you do need to get that to realize, okay, wait a minute, and have that moment to reflect, and then maybe you need to work on some new relationships.
Yeah, because what I've noticed, and from my experience, not experience, but when I study these elite athletes, they all have this mindset of obsession with winning. And they always say they have to sacrifice some time with their family or whatever it is that is important to them, and really solely focus on that sport.
Let's do winning. Winning is a good fixed growth mindset subject.
Okay.
All right, so how would you define winning in a fixed mindset?
In a fixed mindset.
What does winning sound like for a fixed, when you're in a fixed mindset?
Winning for a fixed mindset is chasing for the result, the external validation.
I'll take it a step further. I say that winning in the context of a fixed mindset is getting exactly the outcome I want. Being numero uno, or having it be just the way I imagine it in my head, that's winning. And if it's not that, it's got to be better than I imagined, and that's winning. And I think that's fixed mindset.
Better than what you thought about?
It's got to be exactly what I want or better. And that would be a win. I think that's fixed mindset.
What is that? Well, what if you don't imagine... what if you don't think about the winning part and don't exceed on that, what you can imagine, what you can achieve, then how could that be a fixed mindset?
If you don't focus on it,
yeah,
then it's not a fixed mindset.
Okay.
Game changes. See, growth mindset is more about learning and adapting and being open to learn and adapt. You may still have a goal or vision in mind, but you're usually far more open to it manifesting differently than you may have imagined. In fact, you may update what you imagine relevant to the process or journey you're actually on. You may recalculate based on information from the present. That's adaptability.
Okay.
Versus the rigidity of saying, just this, anything that interferes with this, stay out, bad, just this, just this.
Instead of I think adapting, I think your journey is bound to change, but the goal is still there. But when you go along your journey, it could change around.
More open to how you get there. Yeah. So I think that when fixed mindset winning is, it manifests exactly the way that I think it should. It needs to be exactly like this or better. Growth mindset in terms of winning is, did I make progress? Did I get closer to the goal? Have I improved? Have I learned? Have I developed? Have I adapted? What's happening with me? I think it's closer to the internal. The focus is more on internal growth than external validation or external reward. Validating or justifying or making these things better for me inside.
But isn't it still okay to sometimes you could use it as a motivation, the external validation as well? Yeah,
you can use a combination of the things. I think it's important to know, again, like we said earlier, it's a dance. You don't want to go too hard on one or the other, but usually in American society, the fixed mindset is super stronger. So for me, I'm advocating to step back from that more than anything. Not to be like, oh, let's give up the idea of going for stuff. I don't agree with that either, because you have to have something that pulls you forward in your life. Something has to say, hey, come over here, come look over here. If it's not curiosity, then maybe it's some other need you're trying to have fulfilled. But something's got to have you move, because the idea of staying put or have it be exactly what you want is dangerous if you live like that all the time.
Exactly what you want.
Exactly.
Well, okay.
Exactly what I want, how I want. It's very dangerous.
Let's use an example of a successful individual. How about Steve Jobs,
Okay.
who wanted to create, the Apple.
He wanted to have it be exactly the way he wanted,
The
right?
thing
He did. But you know what? I bet along the way, and now today, there are plenty of things that are not exactly the way he wanted. What else could he have done with his time and energy if he not squandered it and focusing on having it be exactly the way he wanted, only to end up not having it be the way he wanted? If you listen to the stories of a lot of successful people, most of the journey is not exactly how they wanted. Sometimes even when they get to the end result, it's not exactly how they wanted. It might be pretty close. It might be better than. But usually how we imagine it going in the beginning is very different than how we see that it went when we get to the end.
Okay. I think that's very similar to, your calendar. Let's say you write all the things you're going to do throughout the day, throughout the week, and it just doesn't go the way you want it to go because of circumstances.
Yeah, and it would be better to consider those things. However, side note, I will say this. When I put it on my calendar, it's pretty concrete. It takes some serious circumstance or emergency to mess up my schedule. When it comes to that, I'm pretty fixed mindset, but it's because I set my intention.
Now you gotta be adaptable, huh?
That's why I create space in my calendar for these things. So my intention is not too disrupted by circumstance. I create space for the circumstance, and that's having a growth mindset.
Yeah, okay.
That's the dance. Ooh.
Like that.
I plan with the intention and have that, but I also create space for the learnings, for the lessons, for the process, for the things that I don't really want to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So fixed mindset, it's being stuck. Growth mindset, open to learning. Fixed mindset, everything's predetermined. You have no agency. Very disempowering, I believe. Growth mindset, what you do matters. Your choices, your decisions, your actions, your behavior, the way you treat yourself, the way you speak to others, all that stuff, it matters. So yes, it comes with more responsibility, but more responsibility is how you get more freedom. You don't get more freedom with less responsibility. If you don't believe that, you need to go talk to Sensei Jocko.
Discipline.
Discipline, responsibility equals more freedom. So any other thoughts on fixed mindset, growth mindset?
I think that's it. I think we all just need to focus on the growth mindset in order for us to improve. And as we talked about earlier, there's going to be some effort that you need to put in order to achieve the goal. It's not easy. Anything that's easy, it's usually not meaningful or purposeful. Anything it requires effort. If you work out and it's effortless, I don't think your muscles are going to grow. So same thing with your fixed mindset.
That's right. Too easy. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening. Vaughn, where can they find us?
Follow us on Instagram, all the Instagram, Facebook, all the social media, Shift on Your Life. And don't forget to subscribe on our podcast and our YouTube on Shift Training.
All right, guys. That's it for us. Fixed mindset complete. I hope that you have a fantastic day. Peace.